there's been a lot on the media lately just regarding veganism, so I decided that because of all that and some other factors, I was going to become vegan for a week. Okay, so firstly, for anyone who does not know what a vegan is, the definition, according to the Queensland Government Health website, is that a vegan is a person who does not eat or use any animal products. Now, I aim for this video to be informative so that we can discuss the benefits and disadvantages of this lifestyle choice. We're going to be specifically focusing on the health and environmental factors along the way. Okay, so for day one's breakfast, I plan on having cereal with some coconut milk. Just something nice and easy and simple. Honestly, I don't like a lot of milk in my cereal because I don't want it to go soggy, so that's why there isn't a lot in here. Okay, so coconut milk in like a cereal, it's not for me. So for lunch we're making vegan pesto pasta. Also, I'll be sure to link all of the recipes and external sources that I've used to create this video in the description box down below so you can follow along. So to make my pesto, I combined two recipes which I'll leave linked in the description box down below. So I combined pine nuts, lemon juice, basil, walnuts, garlic, parsley, water, salt, pepper, olive oil and some cooked broccoli in a blender because I didn't have a food processor and I sort of struggled here, and then I just mixed that up into my cooked pasta and voila! Update. So I'm eating my lunch. It looks awful, not gonna lie. I'm not a chef. But it actually tastes really good. So yeah. And it's like fresh, which makes me feel pretty good. So for Monday's dinner, I just had pizza bread with spinach, corn and beetroot. So the first day I ate a lot of carbohydrates and I felt very bloated. You know, I had 2 pieces of toast in the morning. I had some pasta and I had pita bread with like my little salad and stuff. For dinner, right? First day on the Monday. I was really upset at dinner only because like I felt so bloated, like I didn't want to eat dinner. I didn't even eat all of my lunch because like I was that full. Other than that, like breakfast was good on Monday, lunch was good, dinner was mediocre, not gonna lie. I felt bloated, as I said. Other than that, I felt perfectly fine. My energy was actually pretty good that day. Yeah. So for breakfast day 2, I had planned on making banana French toast, but my bananas were moldy so I couldn't actually make them. So I made chickpea and vegetable pies. So for this you're just going to need pastry, chickpeas, mixed frozen vegetables, and that's it. So I just cut my pastry, washed my chickpeas, scooped them into the pie maker, which is from Kmart, added my vegetables, closed the lid and let them cook for a few minutes or so. The pastry would not rise properly, so that was kind of annoying, but here you go, they were pretty tasty, and voila! So after eating my pies, I had work, so I didn't have an opportunity to eat again until dinner time when I went out for dinner. I didn't have very many vegan options, but here you can see, here's what I ordered. Okay, for day 2 or for Tuesday, I had chickpea and vegetable pie for breakfast. I was originally making these for lunch, but my plan, failed for breakfast. So I was really sad about that because I was excited to give them a try, But that's okay. Okay, vegetables in a pie. Delicious. I loved it. Chickpeas, chickpeas, I did not like, not at all. Not in this recipe at least. The vegetables, they were great. The importance of me actually having the chickpeas in there though was to try and incorporate some of those items from the different food groups again into what I was having in my daily diet. Then I was working, so I wasn't actually able to eat lunch, so I was hungry. So we had dinner out, and there was not many options. Honestly, that sucks. Like, there should be more options available for people who are vegan, like whether that's by choice or not. You know, maybe you can't have dairy, and so you just decided, you know what, I don't want to have any animal products, I'm gonna go vegan or vegetarian, whatever. Like, there should just be more options, whether it's by choice or not, you know. So I ended up having popcorn cauliflower and sweet potato wedges. Sweet potato wedges, delicious. I will say, they were great. I didn't have any of the dip. Like, I didn't really want any of the dip that came with both dishes. They were like sides, it wasn't like a full thing. I didn't just want to order a salad because I was planning on having a salad throughout the rest of the week. That didn't really end up happening, but it's fine. Yeah, I just didn't want to just order like a boring salad, so I wanted to try something different. And there really wasn't like any variety that I could do, unless I paid like $20 and then like asked for no meat, but then I just paid $20 because there was supposed to be meat. Like, it just, oh. So for breakfast on Wednesday, I had chocolate chai seed pudding that I prepared the night before. Not gonna lie, I didn't actually expect my chocolate chia seed pudding to set, but it did, so I'm really happy about that. I look really tired, and I am. I'm gonna go enjoy my breakfast now. Alright, so as I was at work, I did not get to have lunch, but for dinner we were making quinoa burgers. So you're going to want some salad for your burger, just to put on after you've actually made the patty. For the patty, you're going to want some corn flour, garlic, red onion, quinoa, walnuts, canola oil, red wine vinegar, salt, pepper, and some shallots as well. I've also got some rosemary. Okay, so I'm taking a non-stick tray. I'm taking half a cup of walnuts, putting them onto the tray. I've preheated my oven at this stage to 180 degrees, so make sure you do that as well. I'm going to take some salt, pepper, rosemary. I'm going to take some garlic, and I'm just going to toss them in this. Alright, then you're going to place them in the oven. You might like to add some mushrooms with it as well. That's up to you. Then I'm going to take 1/3 cup of quinoa, and then I'm going to take 2/3 cup of some water, and I'm just going to cook this so I will get a cup of quinoa in the end. And yeah. Alright, into a food processor. I don't actually have a food processor, so unfortunately I'm using this really dodgy blender and it doesn't really work out for me. But we're going to use it anyway, and then we're going to take some red wine vinegar, sort of splash in there, taking out cooked walnuts. You should have left them in there for maybe 10-15 minutes or so, just whilst your quinoa cooked. Then we're going to add in just the remainder of our ingredients. We're going to add in some diced red onion and chopped up shallots. So then I'm going to add my cooked quinoa into the food processor or blender. Then I'm going to just let it all come together in there, add my corn flour, and we're going to roll it up into little patties. So then I just cooked them in my fry pan with a little bit of oil. Then I cooked some sweet potato chips, served it up with a bit of spinach and beetroot, and voila, it was delicious. So for day 4's breakfast, I just had a piece of jam toast with no butter. I knew I was going to be out all day and quite late into the night, so I packed a protein bar and off I went to enjoy my day. So for dinner, I went to Coles and picked up a vegan spaghetti bolognese. So then later on throughout the night I had some Penna organic mint chocolate. It was delicious. It says love the earth. It's actually adorable. And then I also just had some like cranberry stuff. So if I got hungry throughout this entire week, then I would usually just snack on some nuts and things. However, that didn't really happen too much, but yeah. So I had to change my plans for day 5. So for breakfast, I ended up just having some strawberry toast. For lunch, I went out whilst I was shopping and I just got some sweet potato chips because my options were very limited. Dinner, of course, was just some steamed veggies. Alright, so as it was the final day and I didn't get to try out some of the other recipes that I had intended to, I decided to make vegan sticky date pudding. So the ingredients you're going to need are just going to appear on the screen now. What you want to do is you want to take 2 cups of dates, place them in a bowl with a cup of boiling hot water as well. Also add in a teaspoon of bicarbonate soda to your water and date mixture. Now you just want to let these soak for about 10 minutes or so, just until they've softened enough for you to be able to chop them up into smaller pieces. Alright, now you're going to take your melted coconut oil. If it's not melted, then just put it in the microwave. You're going to take your sugar as well, and then you're just going to mix them all together. Then we're going to sift our cup of flour into the mixture, whisk it all up. Then we're going to take our softened dates, we're going to drain the water. Now that excess water is going to go straight into your flour and coconut and sugar mixture. You're going to keep the dates out of it for now. Give your water and flour a mix. Then add in some vanilla essence. Then we're going to just chop up some of our dates and we're going to add them in there. We're going to give it a mix. And then we're going to scoop it into the cupcake trays and bake it for about 10 minutes. Whilst that's baking, I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of coconut oil and some sugar. I'm going to put it into my pot and we're going to put it on high on the stove. And we're going to be making a caramel sauce. Be sure to keep an eye on it and keep stirring. Then I'm going to add in some coconut milk. I'm going to turn down the heat. It's going to bubble. We're going to stir it and we're going to make our caramel sauce. After you've done this, it's ready to go. And there you have it. Honestly, like, the cake part was really, really delicious. I didn't try the sauce myself. I did make it for my family, so they tried it and they enjoyed it as well. So yeah, thumbs up for this one. It was a good way to end the week. Okay, so obviously, as I said, there are quite a few reasons why some people decide to go vegan, and that's what we have, gathered. Some of the reasons, as I said, were environmental. So, things like the amount of CO2 gas that, animals such as cows, release into the atmosphere. There are reasons why people choose to go vegan that are environmental. We're not going to be discussing them too much, but you just be aware of that. We are aware of that, obviously. And, as I said, just the amount of CO2 gas that cows do release into the atmosphere just from, being alive and stuff. And just, us killing them as well. Just the amount of energy that we are using to feed all of these animals and then to, slaughter them and use them for a burger. So, there are reasons that are environmental that people might go vegan. There are ethical reasons as well, hurting animals, using their products. There are those reasons, of course, and there are also some health reasons. I want to briefly touch on that. Okay, so I don't know a lot about this. I am admitting that to you. If you want to do some of your own research yourself, you are more than welcome to. We were just touching on this. We're not really going into detail or anything like that again. Okay, so we all need protein. Protein is found in living cells, so both animal and plant cells. It has functional and structural properties. So proteins are made up of 20 amino acids. Now, amino acids can be made by the body, but there are 9 amino acids that are essential, and they can't actually be made by the body, so you can actually obtain those by different foods and drinks that we consume. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about protein and why we need it in this next clip, but we're also going to be talking about some of the effects of if we were to consume too much protein. When too much protein is consumed, it becomes ammonia, which is extremely dangerous for the bodies. So it's converted to urea through the kidneys when there's high amounts of it. So then it is your urine. Okay, so ammonia actually kills you if it is inhaled. It's a compound of nitrogen and hydrogen, and it's a colorless gas. So when in the body, it reacts with H2O, so water, and it forms ammonium hydroxide. So this chemical is very corrosive and it's very damaging to cells. So again, a little bit of a health concern if you were, for say, not vegan. You are consuming high amounts of protein. Now, I'm not here just to take one side. Our bodies do actually need some protein for muscle repair and growth. Now, obviously, again, something if you are still going to go vegan, if you do want to take that away from this video, that is perfectly okay. I'm supporting both sides here. I'm literally just trying to be as factual as possible in this video, just remembering that when you are purchasing foods, when you are incorporating stuff into your diet, it's best if you can help it to avoid taking things like to get all of your requirements, to get all of your nutritional needs. It's best to avoid things like protein powders and little tablets if you can. Obviously, if you can't get everything that you need in your diet without them, then go ahead, use them. Just make sure that's okay with your doctor, but obviously, it's not encouraged. So that is something just to be aware of. Remembering also that there are pros and cons, obviously, to both sides. We're going to briefly have a look at some of the pros and cons that I found, just listed on a few websites, just from both sides, as I did say. This is not my personal list of the pros and cons, this is a list that other people have sort of created, and we're just going to have a little brief look at it. So pros: help lose weight, good for the environment. So agriculture is actually the largest contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, which is really surprising when you think about it. That's more than transport. So eating this way is also just better for your health. It makes you smell better. Like, honestly, that saying, you are what you eat. Like, and again, just that prevention of animal slaughter and harm, and it gives you an increase in antioxidants, which again can be really helpful for your health. So those are the pros, obviously, of going vegan. Some of the cons, though, feel free to contribute in the comments. Like, this is an open discussion. I'm not trying to be so one-sided or anything like that. Like, it's an open discussion. Feel free to contribute in the comments, as I did say. So some of the cons are that you could actually lack in some of your vital needs. So it's really important that you do your research. And I'm pretty sure it just got darker. I apologise for that. It's a strict diet, and sometimes it's not fun. Like, there were times this week I was like, damn, this sucks. I'm gonna go and I would enjoy that, like my friends are. So it is that does, it's a bit of a downfall. If you're not aware, you're reading food labels all the time. That's not a good habit. And again, you don't want to be consuming too many protein powders. Like, people are like, oh, I'm going vegan, I will just get a protein powder, all will be fixed. You don't want to be relying too much on other supplements and things that you need to actually take. You want to be getting everything that you can possibly get, unless, for whatever reason you can't, from actual food and stuff. You don't want to be taking tablets, you don't want to be taking like a powder. So my final thoughts is that, sometime in the future, I would consider going vegetarian. Vegan, at this point in my life, I don't think I'd be able to do. It's very strict, It's very easy to sort of just mess up, taking a lot of time, really just being very considerate of, what you're missing out with your vitamins, your needs, everything like that, just what is around you. There's lots of things in this world that have animal products in them, and that's just how it is. I did feel quite tired this week, which I was concerned about. I am going to discuss how I was feeling. I was, sad at times, but I couldn't have items that some of my friends or family was having. I do say, me being tired, that could have contributed from other factors as well. So I'm not just going to say, it's just from what I was eating, because no. First day I was, full of energy and stuff like that. I felt very bloated though. There were some really good meals, and I felt pretty good after eating some of them. Overall, I think we shouldn't push anyone into, doing this, but I definitely welcome it. I think, this is a choice that people have to make. And I think, if everybody just tried it out, not saying you have to, but if everyone, just consider trying it out just for a week or whatever duration you want, it could be good. And, it could make a good video. Yeah. I thank you all very much for watching. I'm going to cut to the outro now. And yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, turn on post notifications, and subscribe as well. Leave me a comment down below telling me if you would ever go vegan, and if you would, yeah. If you wouldn't, that's totally okay. Tell me what your favorite food is in the comments as well. Alright, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!
I got you on my mind.